Okay.
Welcome to This Explainer. So today we're tackling a topic that, let's be honest, usually triggers an instant headache for anyone planning a big international move. We're talking about navigating that massive maze of international legal red tape. If you're based in Lucknow and you're looking to take your life, maybe your studies or your business across borders, well, you're in exactly the right place.
Let me ask you a quick question. You've got your visa approved, right? You've basically packed your bags, you've mapped out your new neighborhood, you are totally ready to go. But wait, what about your documents? Like, are you absolutely certain they're actually going to be legally recognized the second you step off that plane? It's kind of a terrifying thought, but it's an incredibly common oversight.
Don't panic though, because we've got a really clear roadmap for This Explainer. Here's our agenda. 1. The global travel roadblock. 2. What exactly is an apostille? 3. Documents needing an apostille. 4. 2 paths to authentication. 5. The commercial document process. And 6. Stress-free processing with SaaS. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. The global travel roadblock. This is the hidden barrier to your international journey.
Okay, so here's the harsh reality. Getting that visa is really only step 1. Now, if you're just planning a short-term visit, a quick tourist trip, you generally don't need to worry about any of this. But for a long-term stay or any serious engagement abroad, yeah, simply handing over your original Indian documents to a foreign government just isn't going to cut it. They need legal authentication.
So, when exactly does this become mandatory? Like I said, a standard tourist visa, you're fine. But think about these scenarios. Processing a visa for work or study abroad, you need it. Getting married in a foreign country, yep, you need it. What if you're an entrepreneur starting or expanding a business overseas? You absolutely need it. This whole shebang also applies to legal proceedings, inheriting ancestral property, applying for permanent residency, or getting an OCI card. In all of these cases, verification is 100% mandatory.
Moving on to Section 2. What exactly is an apostille? It's basically the Hague Convention's VIP pass. You probably hear this word thrown around a lot, apostille. But what is it? Well, an apostille stamp is essentially a mandatory certification. It's required by countries that are part of this thing called the Hague Convention. Now, because India is a Hague Apostille member country, getting this single stamp from our Ministry of External Affairs, the MEA, is literally the only requirement to authenticate your Indian documents in another Hague's country. You can think of it like an international VIP pass for your paperwork. It proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that your documents are the real deal. Now, you might be wondering what this physical, often anxiety-inducing stamp actually looks like in reality. Well, the official government of India, MEA Apostille, is affixed directly onto a document, like a police clearance certificate, for example. It's got the specific date, the official seals, signatures from New Delhi, the whole works. Basically, this little square of paper, it's the key to unlocking your entire international transition.
All right, Section 3, documents needing an apostille. Let's get your paperwork organized.
Pretty much any document issued by a government authority or a registered business in India is eligible for an MEA Apostille. But just to make this giant list manageable, we can divide them up into 3 neat buckets. First up, personal documents. So think birth and marriage certificates, death certificates, and that police clearance certificate we just talked about. Second, we have educational documents. This includes your university degrees, your diplomas, transcripts, stuff like that. And finally, commercial documents for businesses, things like a power of attorney, GST certificates, certificates of incorporation, or commercial invoices.
Section 4. 2 paths to authentication. Let's see how we choose the right route. Now, because the Ministry of External Affairs cannot possibly verify every single document coming from all over the country themselves, they actually authorize specific administrative bodies to do the initial checking. And this gives you 2 primary methods. So on one side, we have state attestation. Now, this one is slower. It's generally more expensive too, mainly because it requires verification from the exact original local authority that issued the document in the first place. But on the other side, we have SDM attestation. This relies on a subdivisional magistrate who directly cross-verifies the document's authenticity. This one is way faster, and honestly, it's generally the preferred route for sure, unless your destination country strictly demands state attestation, of course.
Now, what's really interesting is how the state attestation method works behind closed doors. It's a massive logistical puzzle. A document has to go from collection to the Home Department or maybe the HRD department, then a letter gets sent to the specific source like a local university or a birth registrar just for verification, then it goes back again, all before finally moving toward the MEA for that final attestation. It's incredibly complex, and that explains exactly why this route takes so much more time.
By contrast, let's break down the much more common and way faster SDM method. We'll do this chronologically so it feels a lot more achievable. Step 1, a public notary verifies the authenticity of your documents and attests them. Easy enough. Step 2, the documents go to the subdivisional magistrate. The SDM thoroughly cross-verifies and attests everything, usually within just 2 working days. And step 3, the documents head over to the MEA in New Delhi, where they verify those previous attestations and finally affix that official apostille stamp. So much cleaner, right?
Section 5, the commercial document process. This is all about authenticating business relationships.
Now, if you are taking your business to a Hague member country, the process does change just a bit. You still start with notarization. But for step 2, instead of an SDM or a State Department, your documents go to the Chamber of Commerce, or the COC. You might be wondering, why the change? Well, getting an attestation from the COC doesn't just authenticate the document itself, it officially proves that the company issuing the document is in fact a legally registered business. Once the COC signs off on that, it moves right to step 3, the MEA attestation, just like all the others. Section 6, stress-free processing with SAS. Let's talk about finding your reliable guide right in Lucknow.
Okay, so here is a really vital piece of information from our source material. Currently, the Ministry of External Affairs does not accept individual applications for apostilles. You literally cannot just walk in and ask for a stamp. No way. You have to use a trusted agency. Enter Secure Apostille Services, or SAS, who operate right out of Lucknow. They bring 15 years of deep experience in global document legalization and embassy attestation. Basically, they act as the essential bridge between you and the MEA.
So, the crucial point here is how an agency like SAS actually takes this massive headache off your plate. They offer a 100% online registration process. That means you don't even have to travel to get things started. They label every single document with a barcode for their live tracking system, so you know exactly where your valuable papers are at all times. No worrying about things getting lost in the mail. And while they do have pan-India coverage, if you're in Lucknow, they offer secure, free home pickup and delivery. Plus, you actually get a dedicated priority support consultant assigned to you the very moment you register.
And you know, you don't have to just take their word for it. Just look at this review from a client named Elwin. He actually noted that he had been scammed twice before by other providers, which understandably made him extremely cautious. But he found the SAS team to be incredibly trustworthy, professional, and completely true to their promises. They quoted him 25 working days to process a certificate of singleness, but they impressively finished the whole thing in just 15 regular days. That kind of reliability is exactly what you need when you're dealing with really tight, important personal timelines.
And we can reinforce this with another really great experience. Aishwarya needed a birth certificate apostilled. She noted that SAS promptly called her, picked up the document right from her home, navigated the entire complex process, got the apostille, and delivered it back to her in just 3 days. 3 days! For a process that involves multiple government layers, honestly, that is the power of using experienced professionals.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. You know, you have already done the incredibly hard work to get your visa, secure your admission, or land that dream job abroad. The really heavy lifting is done. So are you ready to let the experts handle the bureaucratic red tape so you can finally stop stressing about paperwork and focus on stepping confidently into your new journey? Definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, safe travels out.